Exclusive: Hunter Biden's Maltese bank account opened by Burisma amid FBI allegations of a $10 million bribe. Now, we've been covering this. There's a lot of bribing happening with the Biden family. Now, the Biden family has taken millions and millions of dollars from foreigners and foreign companies, and they don't have any business. So that's pretty hilarious. Emails from the Biden laptop reveal a newly discovered Maltese bank account that coincides with the bribery allegations involving Biden and Burisma, as reported by an FBI source. Okay, so Burisma, that name does ring a bell, but I can't remember ever since Putin started his war of aggression. Here's Joe Biden. You remember when he said this? He talked about. Here we go. Listen to this. This is very suspect.
Going over convincing our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money.
The prosecutor he's talking about was investigating Burisma. Now, they've lied and said that he wasn't, but he says he was. That prosecutor says he was. And so he went over there after Hunter Biden is. So watch this.
Well, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
So he goes over there. He's got $1 billion to give Ukraine, Joe Biden, and he says, fire this prosecutor who's investigating Burisma. And they said, we're not going to do it. And he says, well, I'm not going to give you the $1 billion. He can't stop it. He can't stop talking about it. Like all criminals, they tell somebody. And so he can't stop bragging about it. And so now people are saying this is the bribery scandal. Exclusive: Hunter Biden's Maltese bank account opened by Burisma amid FBI allegations of a $10 million bribe. So that was Burisma. That's the energy company that just decided to hire Hunter Biden and give him $80,000 a month for no reason. And then Joe Biden extorted Ukraine until they fired the prosecutor who was going after the corrupt company who hired his crackhead son. Oh my God, do you think Burisma may have hired Joe Biden's crackhead son just so they could shield themselves from prosecution for corruption? I mean, I don't want to be a collusion theorist, but someone should look into that, no? Oh, that's right. Trump got impeached because on a phone call to Ukraine, he wanted Ukraine to investigate that. That's why they impeached him. Boy, time flies. But now there's new emails from the Hunter Biden laptop that shed light on Burisma's opening of a Maltese bank account for Hunter Biden in the spring of 2016. This newly discovered development coincides with the allegations made by an FBI source suggesting that Mykola Zlochevsky, the founder of Burisma Holdings, allegedly paid a $5 million bribe to then Vice President Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden. A Maltese bank account. Isn't that a classic Humphrey Bogart picture? The Maltese bank account? In 2014, Ukraine initiated a criminal case against Zlochevsky and Burisma, the company where Hunter Biden held a board position and received substantial compensation. Zholchevsky, who faced investigations for money laundering and public corruption, allegedly employed the vice president's son, Hunter Biden, to leverage his political influence in order to halt the investigations. Well, as long as it's a bribe from Ukraine and not Russia, that's all I really care about. I mean, if Russia had paid a bribe, then sure, I'd be upset. But Ukraine's the thing I care more about than anything, even my boosters. So you're telling me Joe Biden was extorting Ukraine to fire a prosecutor because he was bribed and not just because it was the right thing to do? According to the FBI whistleblower document, the pay-for-play scheme is outlined with Zholchevsky's purportedly safeguarding 17 audio recordings of conversations with the Bidens as an insurance policy. We already covered this. We showed you this before. Among these recordings are 2 alleged conversations with Joe Biden himself. Wait, and so so this guy Zholchevsky, he records the conversations with Hunter and Joe Biden. That guy thinks of everything, I got to tell you. And so you remember this. There's a senator already brought this up on the Senate floor. Chuck Grassley said that they have recordings. He just talked about that. So breaking, Chuck Grassley says the foreign national who bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has 17 different recordings of conversations he had with them that he has kept as an insurance policy. I think, one of the takeaways here is that Ukraine is not just a country of Nazi battalions, but they also have massive corruption. Isn't that nice? In 2018, Joe Biden proudly claimed that he pressured Ukraine. That's the video I just showed you, that he pressured Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko into firing the prosecutor, Viktor Shokin, who was conducting an investigation into the Ukrainian energy company where Joe Biden's son was on the board. Biden accomplished this by leveraging Now, you'll go and you'll see factcheck.org says this isn't true. Reuters will say this isn't true, or Jake Tapper will say this isn't true. This is true. Biden accomplished this by leveraging the threat of withholding $1 billion in U.S. loan guarantees during his trip to Kiev in December of 2015. Leveraging. It's like extorting, but for rich, important people. Viktor Shokin, that's the prosecutor that Biden got fired, who was investigating Hunter Biden's energy company, Burisma. This guy, Viktor Shokin, has stated that at the time of his termination in March 2016, he had formulated specific plans to investigate Burisma, which included interrogations and other crime investigation procedures into all members of the executive board, including crackhead Hunter Biden. In May 2016, Burisma executive Posharsky informed Hunter Biden via a series of emails about the opening of a Maltese bank account. Posharsky requested the documentation required for the account opening, including a copy of Hunter's passport, a bank reference letter, and a utility bill serving as proof of his residential address. Hunter responded by stating, "We are working on this. I was traveling with my dad and had my passport abroad last week." There it is. There's the email he sends to that guy. That's from Hunter Biden. In the subsequent weeks, Hunter Biden's assistant, Joan Mayer, engaged in an email correspondence with Posharsky, reportedly the third-ranking executive at Burisma. During these exchanges, Meyer provided copies of Hunter Biden's passport, a utility bill, and a bank reference letter as requested. And then, on May 13, 2016, Meyer sought clarification on the requirements for a certified declaration of source wealth. He suggested providing a letter from Hunter's corporation, Owasco, to confirm his annual salary, asking, "Is that what the bank is looking for?" On the same day, a Burisma attorney sent an email to Hunter sharing the address and SWIFT code of Bank, a Maltese bank that would be shuttered for violating money laundering laws in 2018. So they're doing a money laundering scam with a bank that got shut down for money laundering. A few days later, Hunter's assistant sent Hunter's tax ID number and signature to the Burisma executive, who responded with the confirmation, all received. And in 2018, Sada Bank, who was shut down by authorities due to significant deficiencies in its anti-money laundering controls following a joint inspection by Maltese financial regulators. As a result, the Malta Financial Services Authority froze all 12,000 accounts of Sada Bank in 2019, leading law enforcement launching investigations into suspicious transactions, potentially associated with the activities such as fuel smuggling, drug trafficking, and trade with sanctioned countries. Auditors disclosed in 2020 that nearly $11 billion worth of transactions processed through Sada Bank were flagged as suspicious. Posharsky facilitated the establishment of the Maltese bank account for Hunter Biden a year after Hunter introduced Joe Biden to the Burisma executive. So why do you think he got that job? I bet he's an energy because he's influence peddling. And what does this mean? This means that Hunter Biden was acting as a foreign agent. That's what it looks like to me. Which means he's committing a crime because he's not registered as a foreign agent. And Trump's one of his campaign managers went to prison for not registering as a foreign agent. But anyway, in a now infamous email, Posharsky revealed that Hunter Biden and his business partner, Devin Archer, operated as unregistered foreign lobbyists by organizing a private dinner with then Vice President Joe Biden at Cafe Milano in D.C. Bam! In a previous email. Now, remember, they prosecuted Trump's campaign manager and they put him in jail for something very similar. In a previous email, Posharsky requested advice from Hunter on leveraging his influence, extorting his influence to benefit the company, asking for guidance on how to counter perceived politically motivated actions against Burisma. We urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message or a signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions, they wrote to Hunter Biden. And then in 2020, Ukrainian officials seized a $6 million cash bribe linked to that guy. So this guy from Burisma, who's in bed with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the Ukrainian officials seized a $6 million bribe linked to him. The bribe consisted of $100 bills wrapped in rubber bands and held in plastic bags, aimed to stop an investigation into the founder of Burisma Holdings. Seems like that's what this guy's specialty is. He gets investigations to go away, and he bribes people to do it. And he looks like he bribed Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Vladimir Posharsky, the Burisma executive, requested that Hunter Biden send his passport, bank letter, and utility bill to this other Pierre Grec Pillow at Obelisk Auctions Gallery in Malta, according to emails found on his laptop. And then in 2020, the owner of the Maltese auction house was arrested and charged with laundering millions of euros. It's like every business Hunter Biden is involved with is a money laundering scam. The arrest followed a police investigation into a suspicious. Could you imagine if this was Trump's kids? Rachel Maddow they would do a movie. They would do movies about this. Rachel Maddow would write a book. In summary, the bank where Burisma opened an account for Hunter Biden was shut down for money laundering concerns. The auction house owner, whom Burisma had asked Hunter Biden to send his banking documents to, was also later arrested for alleged money laundering related to Burisma funds. All of these events occurred in a country known for money laundering activities. What else do you need to know? There's more. I could go on and on. There's more to this. I don't care. They did it. Now, the establishment will probably not. They already cleared Hunter, right? So that's what this guilty plea. This takes a 4 or 5 year investigation into Hunter Biden and his shenanigans, and it wipes it all clean. And they did it. They did it. Joe Biden took a big $5 million, $10 million bribe And they fired that prosecutor. And Joe Biden's such a criminal, as all criminals do. They can't help but brag about their crimes. You know, that's how the cops catch most people. They fucking tell somebody about their crime. They can't help but brag about it. And of course, Joe Biden did it on stage with a microphone. Okay, nothing to see here, though. Nothing to see here at all. Not two-tier justice. We don't live in a dictatorship. We don't live in a banana republic. We got the establishment locking up their political opponents. Hey, come see us live on tour. We'll be in Bakersfield, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York City, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Stamford, Connecticut, and more.
Hey,
Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.